Welcome to Married2Media Sports Edition. Today we're going to highlight a story about grit, growth, and greatness from the locker room to real life. I'm your host, Dr. J, and today's guest is someone who's not just making noise, but he's making history. He's a hometown hero, a 2004 college football standout with over 1,263 rushing yards and 19 touchdowns at Jacksonville State, and now he's the first black head coach for Carver County High School in Leeton, Alabama. He's back on the field, but this time it's bigger than football. He's building a culture, leading with the purpose, and setting a new standards for the legacy program. Let's welcome Coach Oscar Bonds to the show.
What's up? How you doing?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, living life.
All right.
I like the introduction, you know what I'm saying? I like how you went over the senior year in college. I'm going to piggyback off and throw All-American in there.
Oh, All-American. In, 2004 at Jacksonville State?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Correct.
Let's get it. All right. So we're going to do talk a little bit. Let's start off let's go down memory lane. Let's take it all the way back to Russellville. Your early days of playing football and experiencing, playing football growing up back in those days. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, we'll take it back. If we're going to go back, we're going to go to Little League, Pee Wee, mini midgets, when we used to walk up there and watch them games at the, what was it called, the pork chop or whatever it was called. We used to go watch them games. And what made me want to play for real, it was that announcer. He used to always be like, "What that boy eating? Pinto beans and cornbread?" And I was like, "Man, I need to play football."
Yeah.
So started playing ball. Mama didn't want me to play at first because she said I was too small.
Mm-hmm.
But my dad was like, "Let him play." And then it just took off for me. I ended up being a running back. The only reason I got to running back was because there was a couple cats that was overweight because they had a weight limit in Little League. So I ended up being a running back, and that's how it all started.
Okay. So you played all your younger days at I think it was called Russellville Rec Center when they used to have like the mini midget, Pee Wee. We all went through, you played sports, you went through that program. Looking back at it now, just to throw it off a little bit, they don't even have that anymore now. Let's talk about high school at Russellville. Tell me a little bit about your career at Russellville High School and, how that season and how those years went for you.
High school, it was different, My junior year, I played under Coach Swindle. My junior year, it was like my breakout year. I ended up breaking my leg the last game of my junior year against Bradshaw, and so I just marked it on my calendar for my senior year. And then my senior year, I took it to another level. Ended up being All-State, and I broke the school record against Bradshaw. People broke my leg, so got my get back, and still got the record now. So. And that's how my high school career went. During high school at Russellville, I will say this, met some cool people, a lot of kinfolk, you know what I'm saying? So it made high school kind of fun. It was good old days, But in my junior and senior years when we got Coach Swindle, so we didn't make the playoffs my junior and senior year. We went 5-5 the first year, and then the second year, my second year was my senior year. We went 7-3 and we missed the playoffs, and we went 7-3 those 3 games. Most of the shows went over, and they went 2-8. So I didn't get to experience the playoffs in high school, but that was my motivation going on to college.
Okay. So after you left Russellville, let's talk about a little bit about that. Before you went to Jacksonville, you made a minor adjustment and took another route. Yeah.
So coming out of high school. I gotta tell kids all the time now that I coach is take your academics serious, prep for the ACT and all that, because I ended up signing as a prop because I didn't have the ACT score. But if I would have had the score, I was either gonna go to Ole Miss or Louisville out of high school, but I didn't have the score, so I ended up signing with Tennessee Tech. I had the opportunity to go to Tennessee Tech. It really didn't work out for me. Got a little homesick, and I got depressed and I started having little anxiety problems, like anxiety attacks. Figured out what panic attacks was.
Yeah.
So I figured like I needed a change of scenery. So I stayed there 2 years, and I ended up transferring to Jacksonville State. In the process of transferring to Jacksonville State, I ended up I had to set out a year, so but I ended up working out with the team, but I set out a year, so I used that as my redshirt year because I didn't redshirt at Tennessee Tech.
Okay.
And then I came back for my junior year, and I ended up getting hurt. I injured my shoulder. I damaged a nerve in my neck, so I ended up missing half the season and came back. Came back the last 2 games of the season and scored like the winning touchdown for us to win our first OVC championship.
Okay.
And so after we won that, we went into we got our rings. Here's a true story. So we ended up getting our rings, and I walked in there, and the lady was like, after we won at my junior year, she said, "Where you want your ring, Oscar or OB?" And I was like, "I want Legend on my ring, because I created this character, Legend." And she was like, "Why would you get Legend on your ring?" I said, "Because we're gonna win it again my senior year." And then she was like, "Well, I'm gonna hold you to that." And I ain't got the rings on, but I got the proof, because 03, my ring says Legend, and in 2004, my ring has my name on it. So going into my senior year was my breakout year. I started working out like twice a day. And when I started working out twice a day, because I took off to the next level. So I would tell any kid, it's what you're doing outside of what they ask you to do, your coaches ask you to do. So yeah, we can all do the bare minimum, but when you go that extra mile, you'll see yourself take off because you're putting in more work. So when I put in that more work, I seen, I ended up being an All-American and broke the school. I broke the school record there for touchdowns. So,
Yeah.
and I took it, and we won back-to-back OVC rings. And I was back in there getting another one, cuz that's 2.
That's 2. So that saying no days off actually was kind of like some motivation, huh? No days off.
No days off, cuz I was going to summer school, working a job. My typical day, I would get up at 5, 6 in the morning, do football all the way up to like 3, go to Walmart from like 4 to 11, do my homework, and do the same thing every day. It taught me accountability, discipline, and responsibility.
Time management too, that's a big one too, and balance.
Oh yeah. Gotta prioritize.
Go back to Jacksonville State a little bit. What draws you? Because I know a lot of times, like when we deal with high school, even with you and me, coaching and stuff like that, when we was in position and we had to make a decision on where we wanted to go, and what our future was gonna look like. We didn't really have anybody kind of like paving our way, so we had to learn. Most of our stuff we learned from experience. So just sitting back, just thinking about, that right there. What was the thing that drawed you to Jacksonville State?
One, I didn't want to go closer to home. I was trying to stay far away from home as possible. Because I feel like that was just going to set me up for, to mess up or something. I just didn't want to be near home. And the second thing was, most people think it was because I was dating a girl that went to Jacksonville State, I knew from high school.
Yeah.
And everybody based my decision off that, but it really was her dad, because her dad was the offensive coordinator at UNA, and he ended up going to Jacksonville State. He actually he came and got me and took me on my visit to Jacksonville State when I was in high school. And I wanted to go there straight out of high school because I trusted him. But I ended up, my family wanted me to go to Tennessee Tech, so I made the decision to go to Tennessee Tech based off my parents, and my family wanted me to go there, but I never really wanted to go there out of high school. So what I do now, when I'm talking to high school kids now, I always say, go where you feel like you'll be happy, not where everybody else wants you to be at. So it really was Coach Slater, just my trust for him, and I knew he's gonna look out for me, so that was one of the biggest reasons.
Yeah, I agree about that. Going somewhere that, you feel comfortable going. A lot of times back then our parents made a lot of decisions for us. But, going back, being able to tell kids, what we know, we already walked those lines and things, and being able to share that experience with them. Another thing is going somewhere that runs the type of offense or defense that you like doing too. You feel like that's a big part too? Like, for instance, I know like football, if you say for instance, you a running back, you want to go to a program that runs the ball, right? So a lot of times kids don't even think about that aspect of picking the school that they want to go to.
Well, the second time when I made my choice, I just wanted to go somewhere where I was gonna be happy. You know what I'm saying? I feel like if I'm happy, I'm gonna excel because I'm gonna be more, devoted to it. I just yeah, system plays a part. When I was at Tennessee Tech, they was more spread. When I went to Jacksonville State, it was more like eye physical. But I feel like I can adapt to anything because I was blessed and gifted with athletic ability.
Playing high school, going to college, and things like that. You graduated, and you had an opportunity to get your first coaching job. Your coaching job, first job was at Piedmont. How was that experience?
Yeah. So basically, I really didn't have aspirations to go coach at first. I was planning on trying to play pro ball, so I had ended up getting an agent, and uh, I ended up getting invited to the New York Giants, which that didn't work out because my agent was kind of off on a lot of things. He thought I was going to practice, but it was more like a pro day. So I ended up coming back, and as soon as I came back home, I got a call from my professor who was over the education program.
Mm-hmm.
His sons went to Piedmont, and that was the connection where I got in at Piedmont. So I took the job at Piedmont, and that started my coaching career as an assistant coach at Piedmont. My first year on the varsity, then we went 2-8 as an assistant. The head coach got fired, and then the new coach came in, Steve Smith. And I decided at that time I was 24 years old. I really wasn't focused on wanting to devote that much time to football. So I figured I was going to take a lesser role and go to the junior high. So I asked him, could I work with the middle school kids? And I ended up loving it because we built a little program through the middle school. And we went three of my 4 years in middle school. We went undefeated. And to me, I feel like that's what helped the high school program get built up. And that's when I realized you build your program through your middle school, your youth up. And that was the turning point. So when I went down there, when there were three teams went undefeated, I came up to varsity. And when I got to varsity, we ended up winning the two back-to-back state championships in 15 and 16. And I did middle school for about 6 years, and it's just crazy how you can go from being at the lowest point
Yeah.
on the totem pole to how fast you can rise. So, I decided to come to varsity. Within the first 2 or 3 years, we won state. We won back-to-back state. And then the third year, we was trying to three-peat, and we lost on last play of the game in the semifinals. And that's when I ended up getting my first opportunity to leave Piedmont.
I think just being around other coaches and things like that. A lot of times I feel like things fall through the crack when we dealing with like junior high players and stuff like that. Um, and when we get them in high school, they don't have the fundamentals that they need at the junior high level. So how important do you feel like pounding, drilling that fundamentals, that work ethic, hard work and dedication at the middle school level? Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Getting them ready for
yeah.
high school.
I feel like middle school is you're preparing them for high school. So I feel like you need to simplify it and not try to make it too complicated because you want to make sure they get the fundamentals. As far as football, I always feel like football comes down to blocking and tackling and just knowing right from left and formations and stuff. So that's what we emphasize on, and that's how we built it up with the middle school team.
All right. So you got this opportunity as to leave and get the Tanner job as the head coach. How was that experience when you got the call saying that, hey, you're the new head football coach for Tanner? Because I know you had a couple of obstacles when you walked into the program itself.
So anybody that has aspirations of ever being a head coach, usually the first job you take, you're not gonna have the things you need, and you're just really just trying to get your foot in the door. Just like administration, you need somebody to give you opportunity because most of the time when you interview, they always say, "Well, you don't have no head coaching experience, or you never been a principal before." But that's why I come in the interview now because I'm trying to get that.
Yeah.
Right? They got to see your vision. They got to believe. So when I took the Tanner job, I didn't know that I didn't have a middle school team prior to me getting there for the past 2 years. So to me, the program was at rock bottom. And when I took over, we had like 9 or 10 kids in the program in the high school. So I worked out all summer with about 9 to 13 kids. Some would come and then you want to see them again. So when school started, I tried to recruit about 6 or 7 kids, and I ended up getting my middle school team. And so, of course, I'm gonna focus on that middle school because I knew they was gonna be the future that turned the program around.
So what were some of the things that to motivate them and get them, to commit to what you believed in?
I feel like you, as a head coach, you can't waver from what you believe in. So you got to get the kids to buy into to what you're preaching and saying, and the thing that I had going for me at that point, I won 2 state championships at Piedmont, so I already had 4 rings on my finger at the time. So now on my finger, so it's like, hey, if you listen to me, we're gonna turn the things around here, and I just, sold what I believed in, and then you got to, they gonna watch and see how you act. So you got to be a reflection of what you taught, and that's basically what I did, and we built it from the ground up. I went into a situation where, the football camp was upside down when I took over that too. I had to build that up, and I feel like hard work always pays off. So I just put my head down and got busy, got working. I hired good people around me. And I always say you're only good as your coaches, and I had good coaches around me to help build the program up. So I always get you some good assistant coaches.
Okay. So how did your career at Tanner? I know it started off kind of, you said rock bottom, but eventually, how did that turn out for you, your career there?
So on some real tip, we started off my first 2 years. I went 1-9 both years, right?
Yeah.
The first year we was real bad. The second year we was a lot better competitive, but we still went 1-9. So people be like, "Oh, y'all look better," but at the end of the day, I want to see results.
Yeah.
So going into my third year, we ended up turning around and we went 6-4 my third year, made the playoffs. And that was a turning point. And then the next year, we went 8-4. We lost the region. We lost the region championship on the last play of the game. But we had built it up. We ended up going the second round of playoffs. And then my last year there, I think we went 8-4. We was region champs. I would end up being coach of the year in the area and in the region. And I just saw the fruits of my labor pay off. It's about investing in the kids and what you put in it. And also, we always try to promote getting our kids to college. So, my last year at Tanner, we had 6 kids signed to go on to play college football. And that's at a 2A. I saw people, and I see bigger schools, they only have 1 or 2. So what we always push, and when I say we, because I got coaches, we always push, academics, set yourself up. I mean, everybody ain't gonna go to college. So when I know they ain't going to college, we talk about military, picking up a trade. So we try to help everybody through our program, let them know it's bigger than just football. It's about trying to set you up for your future. Because a lot of times kids don't have a plan or don't their parents didn't go to college, so they don't know these things. And I feel like it's our role as leaders to help those kids get a direction, especially if we already done been through it. We can always mentor and help kids on a deeper level, and they're gonna have more respect for you. They might not understand it at the time because you're hard on them and you're always trying to tell them right and wrong, but in the back end they'll realize what you did for them was what they needed.
Yeah. So when you found out you was the coach of the year, you was deserving of it. Did you kind of know that you was gonna get that, or you wasn't expecting that?
At the end of the day, man, being an African American, you never know what to expect.
Yeah.
I feel like I had did better than everybody in the county and stuff, and then we had won the region. But at the end of the day, you still never know because at the end of the day, we're still a minority, especially in Alabama. But, to get it, it made me proud because I feel like I accomplished something that I wanted to do in life. And, I know I can coach and stuff, and it was just nice to be, acknowledged by my peers.
How did you feel when you first got the call to become the new head coach at Carver County High School?
I'm gonna tell you, I was excited because A lot of times in that area, when I say Russell, you just take the whole shows area. It ain't a lot of African Americans, in that area. And just to be named the first head black football coach there was monumental. Not just for me, but that's for my family and everybody I'm close with in Russell. You know what I'm saying? That's just big, and it shows to other young black African American kids that they can go out and do the same thing. So, I don't know why anybody would be jealous or mad that any black would be mad that I was fortunate enough to get the job. So yeah, I was excited about the opportunity.
Okay. So, with that being said, you got to it before I did. You first black head football coach at Carver County. What does that moment represent to you, personally and professionally?
Personally, just it just lets you know that anything is possible, and I think that's what I put on my post on Facebook, that anything is possible if you put your mind to it. You know, I carry a lot of weight because I know a lot of people are going to be watching to see how I do. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm judged off my results. I don't worry about what other people think. Because at the end of the day, you got to have your own goals and your own expectations.
So when you stepped into that role, and I guess you was able to meet the players, when you first introduced yourself to them, what was the first thing you said?
Basically, some things about the change. They're gonna have to learn to be disciplined, be accountable. I'm gonna be hard on you. You got to get stronger. You got to live in the weight room. You got to get in shape. But at the end of the day, my biggest goal is I'm gonna help you, and I'm gonna try to help you be successful in life, not just on the field, but on and off the field. I want to see you be successful and have opportunities.
What are some of your non-negotiables? Like, what is something that standards that player must live by?
We don't do the stealing and you got to be accountable. You got to come to practice. When the season starts, you can't, and we definitely don't do disrespect. If you think you're gonna be disrespectful, you're not gonna play for me. I don't argue with kids. If I tell you to do something, I expect you to do it. If another coach tell you to do something, I expect you to do it. If you're non-coachable, I can't coach you, and I just dismiss you from the team.
I guess once they leave, because you had some that left and went played college ball. What do you expect them to carry beyond the life of football, on and off the court, when they leave you from your program?
Off the field.
Yeah.
On and off the field, I expect them to just always think before you react. A lot of this younger generation, they react before thinking, and they end up making bad decisions. So I try to encourage them to think before they react, and always talk to somebody before you make a decision.
Yeah. Okay. So I know when you step foot into when you first got there, you found out about, I think it was 2 players that was trying to get play football at the college level, and you did something amazing when you first stepped down. And to me, that speaks a lot of volume to the type of character and culture and the person that you is, a character coming in and able to help those guys get those scholarships, providing them with an opportunity. That says a lot. So let's embrace that moment and talk about that moment for a moment, so that people can see your character, the type of person that you are going into this program.
Oh, it's all about opportunity, man. You want to make sure I help anybody out that wants to try to do anything in life. And what ended up happening is the kid, I saw one of the kids at a track meet, and he came up and introduced himself to me. He was a senior. And I thought that was big, just for a kid to say, hey, man, I just want to introduce myself to you.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point on, I asked him what he had planned as far as college. He said he was planning on walking on at A&M. He wanted to play football. So I told him to send me his film and all that stuff, and transcripts, and I would try to help him out much as I can. And so he did what he was supposed to do. I sent his stuff out to all the coaches I knew, and he had a hit back. One of the coaches liked him, and they offered him some scholarship money. So I guess when that happened, one of his good friends that was a senior also reached out to me and said, hey, this is so and so, could you help me out? And same thing happened. I helped him out, and he ended up going to the same school. They like both of them liked him, and that's huge because both of those kids they came. They said they was thankful and glad that I got there in time. To help them out. So that it's about giving back. So that's the ultimate goal, right? We want to come back and help kids so they have opportunities to successful in life.
So since we're talking about character, leadership, and mindset in that question, let's what is one lesson that you learned as a player that now defines like your coaching style like right now? Like, is there anything specifically?
Determination and never giving up. You know what I'm saying? You got to be determined. I think I excel most when people doubt me. When people doubt you, that just motivated. So that, what I'm saying, that's the biggest thing. And you just got to have self motivation. I feel like you got to put in the extra work. When I see a kid to do the extra work, I know he's going to end up being successful not only on the field but in life.
I know that as you get ready to approach your season, that the community. I know you see it. Some people see it as family, but as a community and support and expectations, for us, reaching out to the community, where you at. What role do you feel like the community support play in having a successful season?
You want the community supportive. We had a parent meeting and I had a great turnout. The whole gym was filled up. And it's huge, because their support, they're supported, and of course they want to hear what I was going to say. And if you got the community behind you, that gives you opportunity to explain what your vision is to them, as well as to your players.
So, what should people who haven't been to a Carver County game, we can even take it way back, when you used to play at Russellville, I know you remember walking out on that field, and I used to be at a lot of the games as well, on how packed the games used to be, especially Russellville and Carver County games. Man, that thing would be so packed. People be standing around the fences, the stands full, just packed. That was one of them games that you didn't want to miss. You was in town. You was coming into town. With that being said, what do you why you feel like people who haven't been, to a Carver County game in years, why should they show up this season?
What we put on the field, one thing we're going to put on the field is we be disciplined. The biggest thing with me, we're going to be disciplined. They're going to watch film. They're going to understand what the team is trying to do and how we want to attack people. We're going to be physical, and we're going to have fun. And we're going to give 100% effort. And if you can do that, who wouldn't want to come out and watch a team that's going to give you 100% effort, discipline, you know what I'm saying, and play hard and hit. Because, like I tell the kids all the time, if you're not physical, and if you're soft, you can't play for me. And if you make excuses, you can't play for me. And that's just what I stand on. Okay. And we're trying to get the rivalry started back with Russellville. Carver County and Russellville hadn't played in years, and that's something we're trying to reach out and get back on.
What do you need from the community to help you? Because I know you got a couple fundraisers and things going on right now. What is some? Tell us a little bit of what you got going on and how the community can come in and step in, and if there's some people out there that want to help and they don't know where to start or what to do, what are some things that they can do to help this program?
Man, just being the presence, man. We need people who not only we mentor them, it's good to have people who gonna mentor them. We look for people who is in a church who want to mentor the kids. We need people who do the chain game. It's little things that you have to do to be a part. Support the kids. We're doing a fundraiser. 365 raised. We done did good so far. In 8-9 days, we're gonna raise $9,000, which is huge. So the community is doing their part and donating money to the program. We also we're trying to get grant money. We started this thing with T-Mobile, called T-Mobile Friday Night Lights. If we make the top 16 finals, we get $25,000 donated to the program. T-Mobile will come out They'll come to a game, they'll set up the cameras, and they'll promote our school on every social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So, we're just trying to get the school much publicity as possible, and we need all involved from the community because the more they follow us on social media, the better it is.
Okay. And if you had to give this season a headline for this season, what would you want to call it? What would you want it to say?
Focus.
Focus. That's good.
Focus, because kids are focused, we're focused, we're on a mission.
That's good. Okay. What messages to players who might be watching or people who might be watching, maybe one day they might say that, they can do what you're doing. Is there any words of encouragement and motivation you'd like to share?
Life is about ups and downs. You got to go through the downs to experience the ups. Sometimes you have to fail before you succeed. And once you fail, you figure out what you did wrong so you can bounce back and succeed. Because it's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you get back up. And that's how you become a winner in life. So anything's possible. You only live once. I would tell people, if you have a fear and you don't go after something, then you already failed to me. So you got to be willing to take that leap of faith. So I would tell anybody, you should lean on your faith. Whatever your faith is, lean on your faith, and anything is possible.
All right, the last question is going to be kind of like hot seat questions. You got to be kind of quick on your. What is your game day routine?
I'm basically going to sit back and chill. I'm the same. I don't waver. I take me a little nap and get ready for the game, for real. That's all I do.
Describe your coaching style in one word.
Detail.
If you could go back and talk to your 18th self again, what would you tell yourself?
Stop worrying and focus on yourself and make decisions based on where you see yourself going in life.
And what does it mean for you to be built for the time as this?
It means a lot, man. I think everything you go through in life prepared you for the next journey in your life. So everything I've been through has prepared me for this moment.
Finish the sentence. This season, we will
put a great product on the field, and we're trying to compete to win a region championship and a state championship. And that's the only model I live by.
That's what I'm talking about, cuz. Anything that you'd like to leave and say to anybody that come across this podcast that we didn't cover, or anything else you would like to say?
I want to say I appreciate you reaching out to me, get me on your show. I think you're doing great things. You know what I'm saying? I've been knowing you since we was in diapers. You're my cousin. I love you. We've been through the ups and the downs, and I always got your back. No matter if we get into it, don't talk for a year, we're going to bounce back.
And we always do. And the one thing about me and you, our little clique that we have, we've always been there for each other since day one. We've been to each other games. We encourage each other when we have moments. We, even though we might not, like you said, we might not talk for a while, we still, proud of each other.
Day ones, no matter what.
Day ones. And even when we was working out together, when you thought you beat me racing that time, remember? Yeah, that's something that they don't know about. We used to.
Now, listen. One thing that Jacqueline's not gonna tell you the truth about is she can't beat me in spades, and I'm a better athlete. She would never want to admit that, but that's okay. I'll let her have it.
Yeah, but we already know. Everybody knows the truth. Like, that's one thing we're gonna do when we get together. We gonna play us some spades. And one thing we did growing up, we always worked out together, and we always ran.
Oh yeah,
we did.
Oh yeah,
that was my. And I feel like athletes, a lot of times they work out together. But if you got a group of people in your support system and y'all after the same goals, when y'all put y'all minds together and work out, it's even better. You push each other even harder. So that's one thing that we've done. Whether little, all the way to now, we still do the same thing. So I appreciate you coming out here on the show, talking to me a little bit, talking about your accomplishments, your your grit, your grind, your hard work is definitely paying off for you, Buns. And I love you for that, no matter what. It was good talking to you. I like to say this is Coach Buns, OB as we call it, Coach Oscar Buns, a man of vision, heart, leader, Carver County. Y'all got you a good one. So everybody need to get ready. This isn't about football. It's about a cultural shift, a mindset reset.
You're right.
And a new chapter in the making. We want to thank you all for tuning in to Married2Media Sports Edition. Be sure to follow the journey to support local teams. And remember, greatness isn't given, it's coached, built, and earned. Until next time, this is your girl, Dr. Coach J. And you already know, great stories starts with bold movements. And we signing out. Peace.